In the name of Allah, the widely merciful, the ever merciful. This time we discuss the explanation of Sheikh Mohammad Assara'wi of the verses 51 and 52 of the Surah Alnnou'r, number 24 in the Noble Qur'an. Surah Alnnou'r, verse 51. Certainly the appropriate statement of the believers, when they are called to Allah and His Messenger to judge between them, is that they say, "We have heard and we have obeyed," and those are the prosperous. End of translation. Thus, as long as you have believed, and faith can only be out of will and choice where none coercing you, thus on you is to respect the selection of yourself by obeying such choice. Otherwise, you would have belittled and made silly of your opinion. Therefore, that is the case of the believers when called to Allah the Almighty and His Messenger, peace be upon Him. They are to say, quote, "We heard and obeyed," end of quote. And had you pondered the universe around you, you would have found it running in accordance with this rule. Everything in the universe, other than the human being, is geared and not selective, even if originally all were given the choice, but chose to be geared from the start, and relieved yourselves, as Allah the Almighty has said, Surah Al-Azab, verse 72. Quote, "Indeed we, left square bracket we right square bracket have offered LMN and left square bracket, that is, the trust or moral responsibility or honesty and all the duties which Allah has ordained, right square bracket, to the heavens and the earth and the mountains. But they have declined to carry it, and they had taken pity of it, left square bracket, were fearful, right square bracket." End of quote. And the meaning of, quote, "We have heard and we have obeyed," end of quote, left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 51 right square bracket, is "we have heard" in full awareness followed by an answer and obedience, and is not just the arrival of the sound to the ear of the listener without having any impact on him, as Allah the Almighty says elsewhere, Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 83. Quote, "And as they hear what has been brought down to the messenger, you see their eyes overflowing with tears because of what they have recognized of the right." End of quote. Thus, the hearing has a task, and here it is. We have replied, "O Lord," and are determined to answer, and this is a taught promise which follows in executing and obedience. As we say in prayer, Allah is ever hearing of him who has praised him, means that Allah answered who thanked him. Quote, "And those are the prosperous," end of quote, left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 51 right square bracket. The prosperous are the victorious, who reached the stage of success. Allah the Almighty says, Surah Alnnou'r, verse 52. "And whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger and threads left square bracket in previous sins right square bracket Allah and fears Him left square bracket in the coming days right square bracket, it is those who are the winners." End of translation.
The Sheikh Mohammad Assara'wi was teaching us the explanation of the noble Quran, and when came this verse he said, "Listen, this is a telegram from Allah the Almighty." Quote, "And whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger and dreads Allah and fears Him, it is those who are the winners." End of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 52 right square bracket. This verse has come with all the rules of the Islam, and this brief telegram, which contains the entire curriculum, has not omitted anything. And the meaning of, quote, "and whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger," end of quote, left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 52 right square bracket, is that has believed in Allah the Almighty and obeyed Him and believed His Messenger, Muhammad, peace be upon him, and being dreadful, quote, and dreads left square bracket in previous sins right square bracket Allah, end of quote, left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 52 right square bracket, any, fears Him for what He achieved of sins in the past and, quote, fears Him, end of quote, left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 52 right square bracket, in the rest of His age, quote, it is those who are the winners, end of quote, left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 52 right square bracket. So, the verse contains the many meanings in the little brief words. And it is well known that brief eloquent writing is harder than the elaborate one, and preceded that we mentioned the story of the famous public English speaker, when they said to him, "Had it been asked from you to write a speech which you recite in a quarter of an hour, how much time do you need to write it?" He said, "In a week." They said, "If in half an hour." He said, 3 days. They said, "If in 1 hour." He said, 2 days. They said, "If in 3 hours." He said, "I write it now." And they said that Baghlul sent from France a letter of 4 pages, and said in it, "After all, I pardon you for the elaborating, because I do not have time to make it brief and short." After noble Qur'an's talking about the saying of the hypocrites, and what opposes it of the believers, and what followed it of judgments, quote, it is those who are the winners, end of quote, left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 52 right square bracket, that, because mentioning the opposite makes the opposite apparent, then it returns to talk about hypocrisy. All translations are by Alnnou'r.